Yung magandang umaga. I feel so much at home with ISOC. Thank Sir Archie and Sir Chito for having me here today. No, because what we see, yung opening natin, no, really resonates with my advocacy as well. We started with our national anthem. No, and we had a cyber prayer, which is something really new for me to see. No, but in the cyber prayer, it's the fusion of faith, no, patriotism, and tech. So it's such an odd combination, but it's there. And over and above that, we started with awarding the early birds na meron pong nagrereklama na maaga daw pero hindi raw nabigyan ng prize. But with that, I've seen that 5 out of 8 are females. So gender is another, no? So kasama yon, and I therefore conclude that contrary to popular belief, girls are actually never tardy, no? So 5 out of 8 eh. Okay, so I will be more of the devil's advocate, so to speak, in the room today. And it's good that I'm the first speaker, so I won't be compared to the others, no? No comparison, because I'm the first. I will set the bar and the standards, no? But this will be not so technical yung usapan natin. So are there people in the room who has been in my lectures? Because I'm all around, basically, no? So here we'll set we set the tone of all of the lectures that's gonna be happening for the whole day. So why is all of this happening? No, the context behind bakit tayo nagkakaroon nitong mga napakaraming hacking incidents, fake news that's so proliferating and all that. So I was given the topic to talk about preparing for the new battle, defending against the AI-driven cyber attacks. So for context, no, in a world where technology rapidly advances, no, ang battlefronts natin are no longer just land, air, and sea, but also in the cyber domain. And in the Armed Forces of the Philippines, what we did was, along with Air Force, the Army, and the Navy, we now have cyber as a fourth domain of operations. So we are towards building the cyber command. So magkakaroon tayong Air Force as a service, Navy as a service, no? And then Army and cyber. So ang usapan namin kanina, hindi po lahat pwedeng sabihin na fresh grad cyber na ako. Ang cyber has to have a foundation. And there is always a room for cyber for everyone. It is not all tech. No? So hindi siya lahat tech. Yung mga na-depress dahil na-scam sila. Yung psychologist na kumausap doon sa depressed na tao is part of cyber. No? Kasi part siya for recovering because of that incident. No? So all-encompassing itong cyber domain. So no one can really say that I'm an all-around expert of cyber. No? It's for everyone, and collectively, if we help each other up, lift each other up, everyone has a stake in terms of cybersecurity. No? So in cyber warfare natin is the new domain, and it is the future battle space. So ano yung context nito? No? We talk about the West Philippine Sea, what we call the wild, wild West Philippine Sea as of the moment. No? So yan po ang nangyayari. No? And it is the hotbed of territorial disputes, and it is now the critical front in the cyber domain. No? Ito yung mga bakit ito kasi punot-dulo nito, bakit itong dagat na to napunta sa cyber, no? And it is also now that we have a proliferation of AI-driven attacks. No? So it's the new frontier, and it undermines our national security and sovereignty. So why do you say this is a cyber forum, and why is the AFP here? No? Sabi ko nga, there's always a stake for everyone to be part of cybersecurity. And I'm really very glad na sinama nyo kami rito, sir, to have this conversation with everyone, because the AFP cannot do this alone. We have been seeing that all of us have our own efforts in securing our cyber domain, cybersecurity efforts, but we are all in silos. The financial sector, may sarili sila, and it's very good then, no? Their community, they do intel sharing. But sayang na hindi natin siya na-leverage sa other industries because the others also have. No? So we want to have an umbrella unit that will marry all of our cyber efforts together, because there is no barriers to cyber. We cannot say that, hey, China, you're intruding in the Philippine cyberspace. That's not the case, because there's really no demarcation line to say that. So if each and every Filipino will be very much aware of cybersecurity, then collectively, it's like us, every Filipino, holding hands and forming that barrier in cybersecurity. And ang sabi ng ating Pangulo nung huling SONA, ang West Philippine Sea ay hindi katang-isip lamang. It's very, very much real, and yan po ang hinaharap natin ngayon. Ano ba itong pinag-uusapan dito? It's the 9-dash line, ang kanilang imaginary line, no? It's 9 dashes covering the whole of South China Sea. And then, nag-evolve pa sila. It became 10-dash line. Bakit? Kasi kukunin nila ang Taiwan. And they added another dash to include Taiwan to make it a 10-dash line. So alam niyo yung diferensya kung bakit 9-dash line and 10-dash line. And it's the whole South China Sea na hindi po pwedeng angkinin ng kahit sino because ang dagat ay open, no? Kaya ang Philippines po, ang pinaglalaban natin is this one, this green line, and it's called the West Philippine Sea. West Philippine Sea is part of South China Sea. It's 200 nautical miles from our baseline. Ibig sabihin, yung pinaka-land natin na pinakamalayo, no, sa Palawan, yung nakalabas sa tubig, yun po yung baseline. If you measure 12 nautical miles from that baseline, yun ang ating territorial sea. Kahit anong mangyari sa 12 nautical miles, pwede nating hulihin, pwede nating gawin kung anong gusto nating gawin. Sa 12 nautical miles, atin yun. No? Pero, yung sinasabi nating from the baseline, 200 nautical miles is the West Philippine Sea. Misnomer po yung atin ang West Philippine Sea. We cannot own the sea because we'll be getting the narrative of China if we say that. No? Pero, ang atin ay ang yaman sa ilalim nito. That means, in the arbitral ruling, it states 200 nautical miles is territorial rights. So may karapatan tayo doon. Meaning, walang makakapagpigil sa ating mangisda doon, walang makakapagpigil sa atin na i-explore and i-exploit ang lahat ng nandun. So kung mayroon minerals dyan, meron merong oil and everything, tayo po ang dapat manguna sa exploration nun. And if we'll do it with another country, it's still the Philippines who gets to make the call. So yun po yun . So hindi po atin ito, pero atin ang yaman nito. Pero dahil hindi siya sa atin, dumadaan ang mga barko, ang mga eroplano. So that is freedom of navigation and freedom of overflight. So minsan po kasi natatakot kayo sa news, bakit ang dami-daming dumadaan, ang daming may lumipad, may barko, may malapit, may ganon. Because of freedom of navigation and freedom of overflight. Pero pag sa 12 nautical miles sila, that's another story. No? Pwede na natin silang hulihin. Kaya nga, they keep their distance. They go 12 nautical miles out. No? But it's like EDSA. At any one time, parang traffic siya, no? Daan-daanan. And the trade that's there is amounting to around $3.13 trillion. So dun dumadaan sa South China Sea yung mga dinideliver na sasakyan natin. Prutas, gulay, everything. So because of that trade that passes through the South China Sea, that is why most of the nations are clamoring for in favor of the Philippines in saying that we want a free and open Indo-Pacific. So sabi ni Spain, sama kami dyan, dapat free and open yan kasi may dinideliver goods sa kanila. Sabi ng Europe, sinabi ng so lahat sila nando doon. Okay, so yun po ang pinaglalaban natin dyan sa West Philippine Sea. Now, ano ngayon ang nangyari dito? Because of that, because of that issue, China is actually doing its gray zone tactics. But we do not want to use gray zone because gray zone is the narrative of China. So we do not use that term. We call it ICAD. Illegal, coercive, aggressive, and deceptive. Ito yung lahat ng ginagawa nila. And these ICAD activities are the gray zone tactics. Ibig sabihin, hindi kanila dadalhin sa tipping point na illegal na siya. ang gagawin nila, imamaka nila. So this is a fight of right versus might. The Philippines has the right through the arbitral ruling from the UNCLOS, which China is a signatory to. So tayo po sa batas in the arbitral ruling 2016 owns that 200 nautical mile resources, no? But they have the might. Kaya binubuli nila tayo. There are two players in this game, the CCP and the Philippines, and we're playing a game, no? But the bully is trying to touch her nose or pinipitik yung tenga natin, no? And mocking us, no? So with the water cannons, with the lasers, the tear gases and everything. And if us, the Philippines, who has the right, according to international law, takes, mapikon tayo and then suntukin natin sila. Sa mata ng international community, tayo yung masama. That is why we are holding our ground and because the law is on our side. And because of that, going back to this, yung gray zone tactics kasama ang cyber doon. So with that gray zone tactics that they're doing, nandito na po pumasok na yung fake news brought about by misinformation and disinformation. And at this point in time, we are already at war. We are at war with words, no? So naglalaban na tayo. Their narrative against our narrative. But all of their narratives are staged. It's all lies, no? Binangga nila tayo, sasabihin nila sa international community, tayo yung bumangga, no? But, the right versus might thing, babanggain tayo ng babanggain, nabutas yung ating mga vessels, iilan lang yan. So we have to do repairs. And ang gagawin nila is ubusin nila yung assets natin. So, ganun nangyayari. Over and above that, kasabay ang proliferation of fake news and misinformation. So, this can also lead to AI-driven misinformation. No? So, hindi na tao yung nagpo-post eh. We'll just give key messages and then may AI na lang na pinopost na siya sa lahat ng iba't ibang sites na pwede. No? So, yun talaga yun. Yun, pag hindi mo alam yung context and the real story behind, you tend to be swayed. And that is the reality on the ground na kahit po Pilipino, naniniwala na sa naratibo nila. So, may mga naririnig po tayo dyan, no? Makapili na mga Pilipino na nagsasabi, bakit ba kasi natin yan pinaglalaban pa itong barko na nakasadsad dyan, no? And over and above that, hindi lang siya misinformation and disinformation. There is also active hacking that is happening, no? Spamming is happening and these sites that have been hacked, no? Meron pa tayo taga-Bangko Sentral dito. So ingat po tayo at maging mapanuri dun sa mga but ang sasabi ko, minsan kasi, our weakness becomes our strength. How? Because our systems are in silos. So nahack si PhilHealth lang. No, nahack si FEO ng police. Alam na ngayon ng China sino lahat ang may baril at anong baril natin, no? So kilala na naman po nila sino yung armado. But sila lang. But as we progress towards the e-government system, it's not gonna be the same case. Kasi hindi na tayo siloed pag nag-e-gov tayo. The financial system will be there because there's gonna be payment for government, no? So now, how do we address that? Now it's their strength, yung weakness natin. But as we move towards that, yun yung doon. But we do not need to reinvent the wheel because Estonia has already had that case. They were hacked as a government system by Russia, and in that event, they came up with the Tallinn Manual. And the Tallinn Manual can be used by the Philippines to, learn from the attack that happened in Estonia because they have a government system that was in place. Okay, so AI can now be used to disrupt our naval communications, itong ating precision cyber attacks, no, against critical infrastructures. I've seen meron tayong speaker mamaya about critical infrastructures, no. So ang reality on the ground, nakakatakot ito. Our power lines is 60% owned din sa kanila. Basically, they have that button, that red button, when they press it, our power lines is gonna go down. So those things. So marami talagang usapin tungkol dito and lahat ito nag-uugat dyan, no? And as we progress with all the talks, you will see each and every attack vector that's happening, no? So it's not going to be just me saying all this, but it's just the context, no? And even influence our international opinion through AI-generated content, as sinabi ko nga kanina. And so kung ano nakita nyo, ang ginawa nila, they have been destroying our corals. 21,000 acres. And anong nangyari? Tinatambak nila ito to build these artificial islands, as you can see here. So ito po, mga kanila na nakuha ito na artificial islands all over the South China Sea, and militarized na siya with airstrips and missile systems on board. And ang nakita natin, yung Escoda Shoal po, ano yan eh, underwater. So, they've been getting the corals and tinatambak nila doon para umangat siya sa tubig. Pag umangat siya sa tubig, pwede na po siyang buildan ng artificial islands. And they do that, no? Nakita natin na gagawin na nila yon. And because gagawin na nila yon, the biggest Coast Guard vessel went to Escoda Shoal and never left. And yun po yung binabangga-bangga nila ngayon. And kaya nila pinipigilan na mag-resupply tayo doon para magutom na yung tao doon and eventually leave it and they'll get the island. No? Historically, Mischief Reef was the first. No? We had a stand too. Kasi dinala nila yung ano dyan monster ship. Pero umalis din sa Escoda. But 1995, when we say ang pinaglalaban natin ngayon sa talks, because we're having the talks, right? Diplomatic. Ang talks natin is to keep the status quo. When we say status quo, we're talking about the 1995 status quo. Mischief Reef, Stand 2. No? Andyan ang US bases in the Philippines. That's Subic and Clark. And so the US, gumit na siya. O nandito kami, gitna kami, alis kayo pareho. No? The Philippines left and China did not leave. And they got Mischief Reef and did this. So now it's happening in Escoda. 1995, kinuha nila Mischief Reef. 1999, lumayag ang LS-57, a commissioned Navy vessel, BRP Sierra Madre. And lumayag siya at pumunta sa Ayungin Shoal. Purposely, sinadsad natin siya. And dahil sinadsad natin siya, it is our outpost. It is the single symbol of our sovereignty in the area. Kaya gustong-gusto nilang tanggalin yon. Kasi yun yung outpost natin saying that that is our property, their territory. No? So kaya po wag niyong ang LS-57, it is a red line, it's not gonna leave Ayungin Shoal. Kapag ka po ginalaw si LS-57, they board LS-57, shots will be fired. That is what's not ang iniiwasan nila. Kaya water cannon and lasers. Because if shots are fired, then the Mutual Defense Treaty with the US is triggered. Because ang trigger ng MDT is an armed attack and US can now intervene. Bakit ayaw natin payagan si US na gawin para sa atin ang mag-resupply? FedEx pwede naman, di ba? But no, ang gusto natin, we want to do it alone. We want to be independent. Bakit? Sa mata po ng mga Chino, hindi po natin kalaban ang Chinese. No? Ang Chinese, kasama natin yan. Di ba? Mga Chinois, we are very good friends with them. We do not want to create xenophobia and racism. Ang kalaban natin is the China Communist Party, who is directing the PLA Navy and the Philippine Air Force to do these atrocities. Kunti lang yon na portion ng China. No? And so we want to reach these Chinese people na mababait na tulungan ng Pilipinas dito. And sa kanila po, bully si China kapag binuli niya ang Pilipinas na maliit na bansa. Because we're not a superpower. So China should fight a superpower to get up from the 100 years of shame. Yun yung gusto nilang mangyari. And so, dinidikit lagi sa narrative nila na tuta ang Pilipinas ng kano. Diba? The US is there, you have the missiles there para sa mata ng Chinese, tanggapin nila kung bakit nila kinakalaban ng China yung Philippines. That's why yung Philippines, nagpupumiglas tayo. Hindi kami nakadikit sa US. We have an MDT and we're not doing it. We're doing it alone. We're doing it independently. And these are humanitarian missions to feed our people, to rotate our people. Kaya po tayo nagsasabi. Sinasabi nyo, bakit yung ayaw natin tanggapin? No? Kasi pag tinanggap natin, then pantay na yon and pwede na tayong and we will be trapped in the middle. no, of the conflict. So that's the thing. Okay, so as I said, it is right versus might, the information and diplomacy, because our president po, no, yun yung kanyang foreign policy. No, so if we fail to prepare for an AI-driven cyber attack, no, this could result in not just the loss of data, but a loss of sovereignty and strategic advantage in the West Philippine Sea. So, connected talaga siya. So, we have strategies for defense, no? Ang first line of defense na natin is we build cyber resilience through AI. So, kung yung kalaban gumagamit ng AI, dapat po, we should also leverage the use of AI for defense, no? And we should do continuous training. Ganyan po talaga sa collaboration with allies is crucial. And of course, have to go through our legal frameworks. Okay, so in conclusion, the battle is not just on the horizon here, but we must act to ensure that we are prepared to defend our nation against threats of cyber in the future. Ito po ang kanilang United Front Works. Napakarami po niyan. Gray zone tactics, pogos, illegal hacking and everything. They're even paying our Filipino hackers 500,000 pesos to hack our own systems. No? So lahat yan. So kailangan po talaga yung patriotic spirit natin mabuhay para hindi po tayo masilaw sa pera dahil ang binebenta po natin ay ang ating sariling bansa. And the foreign policy of the president, we have state powers, diplomatic, information, no, military, law, and economic. But ang sabi po ni Presidente sa kanyang foreign policy, he is our commander-in-chief, diplomatic ang mauna. We do not escalate. But we will not escalate. No? We do not de-escalate kasi hindi naman po tayo nag-escalate. We will not escalate. So diplomatic po, DFA po ang bida, but the armed forces of the Philippines will always be there to modernize, to train, and of course prepare for this. The greatest po courage that we have shown is not to fight back. So yung pong sinasabi nyo, masakit po sa amin yun, na hindi man lang sumuntok itong mga Navy SEALs natin and all. They're highly trained. They wanted to really gusto talaga nilang gumante. But we do not escalate. No? So really, the test of courage is not firing a single shot. Okay, so with this, we also build our allies, no? And now a lot of countries are rallying behind us, saying, mali kayo talaga, and that's really bad at what you're doing. But we want them to do more than just talk. Yes, we have their support, but one of the powers is economic. And if the other countries will have economic embargoes against China, mararamdaman ng China na itong United Front na to, they mean serious business. And that's what we want to achieve, not just the statement of support. Okay? So, as our president said, we will not surrender even an inch of our territory for a foreign power, not even a square millimeter, and we will not yield. Filipinos do not yield. And the Armed Forces of the Philippines says that we have a battle cry, which is RCs. Ito po ang ating karagatan. Atin pong alamin ng tungkol dito. Our rights, nandyan ang karapatan, by law, in the arbitral ruling that ruled in our favor, and our future. Ito po ay mamanahin pa ng ating saling lahi. Pati po yung mga anak natin, they will still be fighting this battle. And they should know about this. And so with all of this said, I would like to thank the Filipino people po for your support with the latest Octa survey, with 7 out of 10 Filipinos willing to fight with the AFP, and a lot of you becoming reservists. Maraming salamat po. And 8 out of 10 Filipinos trust the AFP, and we continue to get that rating and maintaining it. And we're really very grateful po. And with all that said po, it's RCs, our rights, our future, ating alamin, ipaglaban, at suportahan. Sa manlulupig po, hindi tayo pasisiil. Maraming salamat.